Hey there. Welcome to the news with Pinsplash. There's been a lot of crazy shit going on lately with Valve games, and I don't know, I just want to talk about it all. So if you're not up to speed with what's been going on with TF2, since at least September of 2019, the official servers have had tons of bots playing sniper and just basically just headshotting everyone instantly, like the moment they come around a corner. A sniper rifle is capable of killing anybody instantly with a 4-second interval between shots. I think this game might just be better if that class just didn't exist in the first place, but that ship has unfortunately sailed. Even if you're on the same team as the bot, your fate is not much better because they will attempt to kick you out of the server. And since bots can queue up into parties of 6, they're likely to succeed. This has made the game's official servers basically unplayable at times. Some people have decided to move over to community-run servers, but these servers in truth are really not any safer from the bots than the main servers. It is true that most cheating bots don't go to community servers, although some people have reported seeing them there, and there really isn't anything concrete to stop cheating bots from going to community servers as well. They could pour right into those as well the moment they feel like it. This state of affairs had a lot of bad effects. Some people attempted to make their own good bots that tried to act in good faith and only try to hack on the other hacking bots. They didn't really work out well. There was an increase in actual human cheaters on Valve servers as well. I don't know if they just felt emboldened or what. I've even heard of some players who are now so unafraid of Valve's anti-cheat that they'll just use modded clients on quote-unquote vac secure servers for non-cheat related reasons. Yeah, you probably really fucked up when that's going on. So fast forward to April of 2020. Valve has done nothing at all yet, and the bots just found a new way to make everything just 1,000 times worse. They found some exploit that makes servers lag or crash. I don't remember exactly what, but eventually this earned us our first tiny little morsel of evidence that Valve even knows what's going on. This is their update. Fixed a server crash exploit. That's it. That's all it was. Nothing about stopping the bots or anything else, just that. And then it's not until June of 2020 that we got any other kind of reassurance from Valve at all. Valve's focus of their next update was to make bots not spam as much. Not to actually stop them, but to just make them stop spamming. They restricted the ability of free accounts to communicate to basically 0. You couldn't even use voice commands. And they also said, work is ongoing to mitigate the use of new and free accounts for abusive purposes. Spoiler alert, that didn't work. They added more visible options for disabling text and voice chat. Yeah. They also updated the report player dialogue to include more details so players can make informed decisions about who they're reporting. That would be great if reporting actually fucking did anything. Within 8 days, they limited how quickly you can send messages in text chat. Bots were either buying TF2 Premium or they were actually buying paid Steam accounts. They also made free accounts not able to change their Steam profile name when connected to a server. The reason for that was because bots would often try to steal the names of other players in order to make them harder to kick. This measure did not work for multiple reasons. 1, a client can query information about a server before entering it. 2, a bot could just disconnect, change their name, and then reconnect to a server. Bots are also apparently somehow capable of keeping their Steam name different from their in-game name. I'm not sure how that works. Valve just kept doing these band-aid fixes that didn't really amount to much in the way of stopping the bots, but rather just making them somewhat less annoying. And now, fast forward to October of 2020, we get an update for the game mode Manpower. Here is a list of all patch notes that Valve wrote that are related to bots. And now, here are the patch notes for this one manpower update. Somebody has their priorities out of order. Well, at least players will be happy that they got an update for that mode. No. Nobody fucking plays this mode. Well, at least the players who do play manpower will probably like this update, right? I don't know, but a pretty large portion of the update was centered around nerfing good players, so you tell me. You're exaggerating. Nope, I'm not. The bots are apparently now offering, can't really say that on YouTube, they don't like that. But on the plus side, we did get a community-made taunt called Spin to Win. You're so fucking pathetic, Valve. And now we fast forward to May of 2022. A hashtag starts trending on Twitter, SaveTF2. Relatively quickly, Valve responds and says, TF2 community, we hear you. We love this game and know you do too. We see how large this issue has become and are working to improve things. Oh boy, I sure do love it when the issues get solved and the things get improved on. It will take far more than a tweet to restore your reputation, Valve. So, sort of shifting topics, let's talk about Open Fortress and Team Fortress 2 Classic. Oh boy. These are two TF2 mods, and I want to clarify that a mod is different from a plugin such as Class Wars or Randomizer. These are actually basically separate games with their own menus and logos and all that stuff. But in a way they're still kind of TF2. It's weird. These two mods are special in that they use illegally acquired code. The people making these mods are not the same people who initially distributed the code on the internet, but nonetheless, the code was never meant to be public. Barring this option, these mods, if they ever wanted to exist, had only two remaining alternatives. One of them would be to become a plugin. I don't really know much about how viable that is. And the other option would be to build the entire thing from the ground up, rebuilding all of the TF2 mechanics that they did want to keep. Excluding the legal challenges, using the leaked code was probably the most sane option that they could have gone with. It's also worth noting that before these mods had even started, there were other mods that had also used the same leaked code, and that leaked code had also been available publicly on the internet on GitHub for years. This would give the impression that Valve really doesn't care much about it. Well, apparently not quite. According to themselves, the TF2C dev team sent an email to Valve asking how they feel about the usage of the code. And then apparently Valve asked Open Fortress and TF2 Classic to disable downloads for their games. I'm not exactly sure why they singled out Open Fortress and TF2C and not pre-Fortress 2 or maybe even the GitHub repositories that host the code in the first place, but it may have to do with the fact that apparently TF2C devs specifically mentioned Open Fortress to Valve. Valve said in their emails that they would get these two mods released on Steam. However, in classic Valve fashion, that didn't happen. Called it. On Mario Day, TF2C devs sent another email to Valve asking them for any kind of update at all, and they apparently gave none. These people waited 8 months to get an email back, and they could not get one within 8 months. You can almost have a child in that time. On May 31st, a few days after the Save TF2 movement, TF2 Classic and Open Fortress re-enabled their downloads. No one knows if they'll face any kind of repercussions for this, but the story does not end here. On June 4th, Valve updated a web page on Steam. The purpose of this web page is to give source modders information about how they can get their game on Steam. They have now updated this web page to say, it is not okay to ship a mod that is based on leaked or stolen source code. As long as you follow these guidelines, you may freely distribute your mod through Steam via your own website or any third-party service without getting a separate license from Valve. Oh boy, I wonder what that's referring to. As far as I am aware, this was always the case. I feel like I should say that in the 5-ish years that I've been modding and mapping, I have seen very, very, very few instances of Valve issuing takedown notices. The closest thing that I can think of is a mod that was called TF2008, which tried to get on Steam but got rejected because it was also using leaked code. It only got rejected from being able to go on Steam, not actually taken down. There are other takeaways here as well. The Havok licensing fee has been removed. Havok is an internal piece of software that the Source Engine uses for physics. And in the past, if you wanted to commercialize your Source Engine game or mod in any way, you had to pay this Havok company $25,000 in order to use Havok. So this is good news for a very, very small set of modders. Yay. This change was not made on June 4th. This change actually happened several months ago. I'm not exactly sure when, but apparently Valve has now finally acknowledged that it actually happened. There is a section regarding Valve's practice of granting code access to modders. So basically this would give the TF2 mod dev teams the same technical abilities that they have right now using leaked code, but legally. And Valve has said, we have in the past granted access to the source code of some of our games to a small number of modding teams who could demonstrate a need that could not be met by the normal tools that we give out to the public to make content on our games. So that just means like the map editor and the face poser software and other such things. Valve says that they don't want to bother doing this anymore because keeping up with those modders is a difficult task and there's too much at stake in their opinion. Because giving people that amount of access requires a certain amount of trust. I'll admit that I have not been keeping a close eye on Valve's behavior ever since they were founded or anything, but hasn't this more or less always been the case? And then there's a section about selling mods in general, and they say, we very rarely permit mods to be sold. The reason being that it sets an expectation that Valve has assigned a level of oversight and quality control over the development and ongoing support of the mod that we are unable to provide. So then there's a question about mods on Steam that don't follow these rules but still somehow got on Steam. The answer to this is apparently that at the time those mods were following the rules, whatever those rules were at the time. I'm not sure what mods they're talking about though. So what does all of this mean? Some people are interpreting this as Valve just giving up entirely on mods or something, and like, no, that's not it at all. If you want to get your mod on Steam, you can still do that. If you want to get Source Engine access, you can still do that, but it's not very likely to happen. And it's never been likely to happen. I don't think that this really marks any kind of significant change at all. So far, there have not been any takedown notices issued to TF2C, OpenFortress, or anybody else that's violating the illegal code rules. Until that happens, nobody has ruined anything for anybody. Last thing I'm going to mention in this video, and I'm pretty late to this topic, but the TF2 workshop. Oh my god, what are you doing, Valve? Perhaps you've seen this video about the TF2 map Whatville? Okay, well, just replace Whatville with basically everything that they've added lately. What the fuck is going on here? It seems like Valve has just forgotten what quality control is, or they just check the rating on the Steam page to see if it's good or not. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Again, I really think you should just watch this video. It basically covers all of my thoughts. And I've been told that the Corpse Carrier cosmetic was submitted to the workshop as a joke. Like, the person who submitted it didn't actually think that it would get in. I'm not even going to show you how bad this cosmetic is because I don't think YouTube would even allow it, and even looking at it makes me kind of uncomfortable. Just, it's so bad. I kind of thought that I would have more to say on it, but oh well. Anyway, some information about the channel. I'm gonna stop doing the TF2 series until something actually changes with TF2. I'm just tired of this all. And I'd like to remind every other TF tuber out there, you are talented people, and you don't need TF2. That's really it. Also, I'd like to remind everybody that I have a Twitter you can follow and a Discord you can join. Bye.